again with another Pestie Connections, and with me today, I am really excited about this one because this is my first video Pestie connection with someone from New Zealand. And I met this gorgeous lady when I was over at the P-Man's conference, and she come and sat down and had a bit of a chat with me. And after speaking to her, I'm like, right, we need to get her on and get to know her a little bit more. So with that, I would like to introduce Sandra Speirs from Buglady in Nelson in South Island, New Zealand. How are you, Sandra?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I did have to do a little bit of convincing to get you on. It started off with, will you just be part of our Pestie Profiles Getting to Know You section in the newsletter? And then I've convinced you to do a video. And so we had a few email exchanges, and thank you for coming on, because I know it's very nerve-wracking and being the first from New Zealand. So it's actually really quite exciting. So cool. Sandra, with you wear so many hats in your business. You're out on the road, you're in the office, you do everything, you are solo. I want to know more about that and how you actually got into pest control. I want to hear your story. Tell me your story.
Well, I actually wear another hat as well. I'm actually a kindergarten teacher as well, which maybe you didn't know.
I didn't know that. No.
And so originally, I've always done kindergarten, and that's what I was trained as, a kindy teacher. And I had children, and then I decided, well, I really want to try something else, but I didn't know what to try. So like a mother does, I looked through the paper in those days.
I've got this big smile on my face because you threw me for that one. I think I know everything about someone I'm interviewing, but okay. So kindergarten teacher. Yep.
Anyway, so I'd burnt out from kindergarten, wanted to do something else. So I looked in the paper and I found this tiny little ad, and it said pest control. And I was thinking it was a franchise, and I thought, they're going to teach me what to do. That's it. And so I applied for it, and I brought into a franchise, and the guy came and he taught me what to do, but there's only 2 sprays, one for inside and one for outside. And that's all he said. That's all he showed me. In those days, back in those days, about 15, 16 years ago, we didn't have to be trained. Anybody could buy the spray, and there was no qualification.
That's scary, that is scary.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what he told me is all I knew. I only knew that there were 2 sprays, one for inside and one for outside. And so I set off on, he came maybe for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was the middle of winter, so it wasn't really busy, which was really good, because learning all these new things in the middle of winter. But on about my second week, this is the only time this has ever happened. On my second week, I went to a job in Upper Moutere. It was all good. I was doing the spraying, backing, and then I fell into a swimming pool. This is the middle of winter. All my gear on. I couldn't believe it. Oh, my God. I was so wet. I quickly took off my pack and chucked it on the top because I was scared that all the water, my spray would leak.
Did you do a quick look around? Did anyone see that?
No, but I was dripping wet. I was soaked from my head to my toes. But luckily, like they said, I had this emergency kit, and inside was a whole change of clothes. Oh, yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that. I seriously. So it's the one and only time you've fallen into a pool?
Yep.
One and only? Okay.
The one and only time.
So this is going back like 15 years ago. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So you've been involved in the pest industry for around about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You started off, I think you just mentioned, as a franchise. You've seen an ad, franchise.
Yep.
And then when did it go to Buglady? When did you decide to basically go out on your own?
Well,
why?
After 2 years, I had decided that I ended up going back into kindergarten in the winter all the time because I didn't get enough work in the winter, and the franchise was costing so much money, as in for fees and things like. I was dishing out money all the time. So I said to the company, I think I'm going to sell. And I said, I'm going to sell it for this amount. And they said, oh, yeah, that's all cool. We'll buy it, a part of it back. We'll buy it back. I said, cool. Yep, that's good. Everything was agreed upon. And so they came and they picked everything up, because at that time I had a car as well. They put everything in the car, the whole lot, and he wrote out a cheque for me, and it was $9,000 less than what we had agreed upon. I was horrified. I couldn't believe it.
That's a lot of money back 15 years ago.
And that's less than what it was. Like, I paid about 30 grand, I think, for it.
Yep. Okay.
But anyway, and so now I'm left with a loan. Like, I worked out that I didn't need, if I had all the money that I needed and we'd agreed upon, then it would be sweet and I'd just go back to kindergarten and I'd had a break and it'll be honky-dory. But it didn't work out like that. And so he put a restraint of trade on me for 3 years. And I thought,
yeah, okay.
Damn it. So I decided, well, what's he going to do? And so I started in the summer. I was doing kindergarten 2 or 3 days, and so I decided I would on the other day I'd just do bug spraying. And so I started ringing some of my clients, and it just, because by this time I'd done 2 years of sometimes the same people, and you get to know your clients. I love my clients,
exactly.
And they love me.
I think these restrictions, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, well, pretty much all companies put these restrictions in place, but they can't stop you from earning a living. They just can't. But I have to ask though, Sandra, kindergarten and pests. What's the worst pests? The children, like, just why you got out of kindergarten teaching? Like, I couldn't do it myself. I got no patience. One is quiet job, and one's a noisy job. Yeah, and one you can actually kill. The other you can't. So,
spray and walk away.
But one you can punish, the others you can't. So yeah, I definitely prefer pest control than kindergarten teaching, because I'd have no control because I've got no patience. I've got patience with my own kids, but not many others. So as I've gotten older, I've gotten more grumpier, I think. But all right, so you went out on your own. What challenges did you find, especially being a female? And this is going back, so about 13 years ago now, I'm assuming, you started Buglady.
Yeah.
There must have been some challenges, because going back then, I'm assuming, especially in New Zealand, there wouldn't have been many female pest technicians rocking up to do the job.
No, but what happened then, roughly just before then, what happened was then it started to become apparent that we needed to have some sort of a qualification, approved handler's certificate. So all the pest control people had to go to a course. And so that meant I learned that there was more than just 2 sprays.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Did you get excited over that? No, this is like awesome. I've got more things to learn.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Which spray now? It was really funny. But I actually haven't found anything overly hard, other than sometimes when I rock up in my little car, people will look at me as if to say, where is the person that's going to spray? And then I just carry on with it.
They sort of look past you and like, where's the bloke?
Yeah, where's the guy?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could feel that I would say to you was a challenge was, when you buy your new sprays in their 5-litre containers, and then you've got that round thing on the top, and then you've got to try and undo it. Well, I went through a phase where I couldn't undo any of them. That's not a good look when you go out to spray. Please, sir, could you undo my spray so I can spray your house?
Oh, my goodness.
And it's only from the first, when you get them from the factory. Some of them are really hard to undo. But I've worked out a system now, and I sometimes can use a tool to do it, but I always just open them when I get them now. And if I can't open them, I'll just ask Grant.
I think I crack up. I've got a female technician on our team in my own business, and some of the things that I see what happens to her. I crack up. She does a lot of TikToks now, which I love. And I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you've seen one of them, but we have posted it quite a few times in the women's, private groups. Is one we call the turtle, when she puts the backpack on and it was just too heavy and she's fallen back and she's on her back and her arms and legs are just going all over the place. And I think we put some like Benny Hill music or something to it. It was quite funny. But the challenges that she faces are quite funny, to be honest. We do have a bit of a chuckle, but do you face any challenges which are, I guess, intimidating for you? Like, is there men or women that go, we're not happy with a female rocking up? Have you had any issues?
Never once. Do you know,
awesome.
I find people are so happy that it's a woman and they're so pleased that they want you to come back again and again. And which is really cool. There was one other thing which my mum said to me today when I came here. She said, oh, there is one other thing, She said, didn't you talk about some overalls? You used to get red overalls, and then you said they couldn't make red overalls anymore because they didn't sell enough in your size. Yeah. So now I have to wear blue overalls like a mechanic.
Oh, good. Your overalls are yours pop buttons or are they zip?
A zip.
They're a zip. Okay, yeah, the zip ones are good. I know there's a few females here, especially the ones that got the boobs. I'd be terrible because I've got big boobs, so I'd be a terrible technician because they'd be popping out all the time and they'd be getting in the way when I'm crawling through a roof cavity or something. But I'd be terrible. What are your main pests in around Nelson area or around where you work?
When I first started, they were only flies and spiders. So I did a couple of years of just spiders and flies, nothing else. And then ants came along, but ants were horrendous. You could, like in the early days, there were no sprays that worked very well for ants. Yeah. So you could bait them. And I got too many callbacks. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. But then they worked out some different sprays. And so I did another course and the sprays were amazing. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do that now.
What product do you use for ants? What's your prominent product that you would use for ants in New Zealand?
We use some key industry things like Key Beater. Key Bifant and Recruit would be the key industry ones. And their dust, they use dust to dust and Biforce granules.
Yep.
But since I've been going to the pesty things, and even the other day, I've learnt about some more sprays that I can use, and I do use. There's some in Garrett's that I would, there is just a few other ones that I do use sometimes now, which is quite nice because it's bringing in different things, because I think it's quite good to change up your sprays a wee bit,
And depending, I guess, what's your predominant species of ants there? Is there a certain ant, or you got a different variety of ants, or?
Argentinian are the worst ones up here. I mean, there's a lot of whitefoot or black ants, but it's those Argentinian ones that are just a pain. And there's a few Darwin. Yep. Anyway, after the ants came, then I decided, someone said, you could do wasps. And I thought, no. They said, yes, you can. No.
Your qualifications are growing now, Sandra.
It's easy, they said. So I had no suit at all. I started without a suit. One day I went in, it was later in the evening, I climbed up my ladder and I had my overalls on. And what is this here? A big gap, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
And these wasps came down in here and they were starting to bite in here. And the guy said, are you okay? I'm good.
I bet you learnt from that. I bet you suited up properly every time after that.
I still didn't have a suit. So I went to another one and it was on the roof because I couldn't get to it from below the roof. And the guy said, you can just climb on here. It's easy, he said. Just go here and here and here. I didn't even have my mask.
He said, you climb up there. It's easy.
Look, I didn't have my mask on because I was getting to where they were, and all of a sudden they came out and they were everywhere. Oh, my God. And they stung me here on my eye.
It'll blow up like.
And then when I got down, I wouldn't even look because you could see that I was stung.
Is that your worst? I mean, we've had falling into a pool, had the wasps. What's been your worst? Or are we talking that these are your worsts?
Yeah, these are my worst.
They're the worst. Oh, that's not too bad. It's actually not too bad. So, no.
But after that, I brought a suit.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I'm really glad.
I know. And you can go quite well with a suit, but still, sometimes they get you. Like another time recently, I was on a roof.
They hurt too. Bloody sting.
They do. Yes. And you've got to kill them. Otherwise, they just keep biting you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't do that with kids. You can't, if they bite you, you cannot kill them. So
no, I can't even go like that either.
You can't even hit them, swat them, you know.
I can't do that. But recently I was up on a roof again doing wasps, and she said, I don't even know if there's a nest there. I don't think there is, she said. Oh my word. They started coming out again, and there were so many I could barely get close to it. And then I sort of thought, oh, well, I'll lie down. And of course, when I lay down, then they started stinging through my suit. And I was like, this is crazy. I was stung about 9 times. In the end, I had to come away, and I was thinking, I'm sure I didn't get enough in there. And so I went away for a few days, and then I went back. But when I went back, it was so much easier because it obviously had got a lot in there, but not quite enough. So it was so much easier.
Yes.
So we're still on bugs after ants and wasps.
Yeah.
Now cockroaches.
Oh, and cool. The good stuff.
So many cockroaches. Like every year, the last 3 years, it just seems to have got worse and worse. And probably I do more cockroaches and then more ants and then spiders and wasps and flies. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing a good general pest treatment there. You're covering it all.
And no, last year on my website I put, because someone said, oh, it's easy to do rats and mice.
Yeah,
okay,
sure. Yeah, you do rats and mice. I stalked your website. Yes.
But I've only done one job.
One. Okay. Yes. So, and how did that go? Did you get on top of it? Yes, my one job this year, and they did it. They locked in for a 3-month treatment thing, which was really good, and they paid on the first day. Amazing. And so I've got. Well, actually, most of them seem to have done their dash. Most of them don't. I don't think there's any more anymore. So I've just got to go back maybe one more time and just replenish the bait. And yeah. But I was quite pleased. It was a small ceiling. Like it was only about this high. You seem quite small, Sandra. So, well, from what I remember when I met you, you are quite small. So you just fit through, no worries. You'd be able to just
thanks.
Get in, no worries.
Thanks for that.
So me, on the other hand, my boobs, I can tell you right now, would get caught, and then that would be the end of it. I ain't coming out. My bum and legs would be hanging out. That would be the end of me. So not going to get me in any roof cavity or subfloor, that's for sure. But I'm going off pest control because I'm a bit of a food and wine buff. That's what I like to do outside of work. I don't know if I could not handle being a pest technician, not in your area, because you've got quite a lot of wineries. I've actually listed them. Do you know what? I've actually listed some of the wineries because I'm thinking I might go and visit Sandra. This could be it's a tax deduction. It's business.
Yeah. I've got a spare room. Yeah.
And then we would just have to stop into some of these wineries and check them out. So are you a wine connoisseur? Do you drink wine?
I sure do.
Thank you. Thank you. So I've got a few. I've got I've written down Richmond Plains wines. I've been looking near you. Keener Beach Vineyard. That's got some good reviews. Is that a good one?
It is.
Yep. And you also service out Marlborough Sounds way too, don't you?
Yeah. I don't do much out that way. I go to French Pass and out Kiwi Bay, but I don't do Havelock, and but not much further than that.
Yeah. Oh well, I think it's sold. I think it's definitely we need to discuss more business. And while we're there,
yeah.
we need to maybe discuss it at each winery. So that's my thing. So I wanted to get that in because I thought, oh, she lives near all the wineries. I have stalked you where you are, where you work, and checked out all the wineries around there. So all right. So winter months is normally very quiet. I know it's quieter here for us.
Mm-hmm.
It must be, I'm assuming it's even quieter over in New Zealand because it's bloody cold in winter over there.
Yes.
Have you winter-proofed your business? Have you been able to do that? Or do you just take a break over winter? What do you do?
That's when I do more kindergarten.
Oh, so you're still doing kindergarten?
I do 2 days. I do 2 days every week kindergarten. I've got a reliever's contract, so I always do 2 days kindergarten, which probably in the summer is a real nuisance because then I can't spray quite so much, and I'm sure I would get more spray. And clearly spraying brings in more money than what kindergarten does, but I still love the children. And kindergarten is consistent. So over the winter, I'm always getting those 2 days paid and I can do relieving. And people are sick in the winter, so I can get lots of relieving. And my one wrap job, remember that? One wrap job, remember?
That's going to skyrocket in winter. I was just thinking about what's a bit similar to me, I guess, because my husband and I used to own an insect breeding business. So we used to breed insects for the pet trade, not to release them in people's house and then go kill them, but that was not why.
Are you sure?
No. we used to breed insects and we sold them to the pet trade Australia-wide and did very well out of it, but we soon learned that there was a lot more money in killing insects than breeding them. So a bit like kids, breeding kids costs too much money.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't want to breed pests. You want to kill them. So definitely there's a lot more money in killing stuff than there is breeding. So I learnt that pretty quick. So we don't breed insects anymore. We got out of that and now we're just killing them. So all right, so is there much competition around you?
There's always competition. In fact, my new partner and I bought this house on this street, and lo and behold, when we moved in, like 5 houses down the road was one of the competition.
Oh, great. You had a barbecue, you got together and had a drink? So
no, but and he is probably one of the more competition type people, but he's just an employee, which wasn't quite so bad. But I can see how much work he does or doesn't do. I see when his van's there and when it's not.
He sees when your Buglady car's there too. He's like, she's home. Yes, got no work today. But you'll have to excuse me. I do have a bit of cough. I said before I come on, so I was going to cancel, but I didn't want to cancel because I was excited to get to talk to you. So, all right. So you attended the PMANS conference. That's where I met you, and that was the first time you've attended that conference. Is that correct? That's what you said. So you've been in it for 15 years.
Yep.
Yeah, 15 years. How come it's taken you so long to attend a conference? Why this conference?
I've only been a PMANS member for 2 years, so I've only just started with PMANS. But I used to go to ones all the time for training in Christchurch because Christchurch was closer. And so I'd always do one a year down in Christchurch, and that was enough to keep my approved handler certificate when we had approved handler certificate. And so then I never did it. But I've only just recently become a PMANS member. So and then I decided, well, actually, there's another lady who sprays as well, and she said, Dawn, oh, you should come to this one. And so I thought, okay, why not?
So that's Dawn Hendricks, yeah?
But I tell you what, it was so worth it. It really was. I really enjoyed it, and I learnt a lot, which is cool, which is the main reason for going, isn't it?
Amazed at the ratio of women at that conference. And I spoke to quite a few people at the conference, and they were saying before COVID hit the last conference, there was around 6 women that attended that conference. Now I did a quick head count just while I was there and looked about 40 women. It could be more, but you know, with 200 delegates, I think, you know, the ratio of women was pretty strong, and so I got excited over it, and I didn't stop talking. I think I lost my voice by the end of that conference, so I didn't stop talking the whole time. So I met so many amazing, not just women, but men, and it was, and I'm glad that you come up and introduce yourself. So thank you for that, because now I know heaps more about you, and we will be featuring you in the next newsletter, because you've also done, you know, a little article that we'll be putting in as well. So I'm excited to get that released. And so I hope to see you at the next conference, because I'll be attending all the conferences in the future, and I think the next one may be Christchurch, I think. So fingers crossed, because that's near you.
It is, yep.
We can do some wineries.
Yep. I don't know if there's many down there. We'll have to hunt some out.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure.
I'm sure people will travel. It's an excuse. It's an excuse to travel.
Hey, do you know, when I first started going to conferences, I went to the ones in Christchurch, and without a doubt, there would be 2 or 3 women, me being the only sprayer. The others were there because they worked for their husbands, or they were admin. Yeah. Honestly, it was. They used to be big, burly men.
Yeah. I
have no idea how they would
get burly men. I want to cut in here. Because I've read your getting to know you questions. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, so you obviously like big burly men.
Well, not these pest control ones, no.
But I was just thinking, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you mentioned him a couple of times, but then one of the questions was, who's your, you know, celebrity crush? And you said you didn't know, but I reckon Arnold Schwarzenegger would be your celebrity crush. One, because you want to go out for dinner with him. And second, you actually look up to him. Why Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Because he's changed his mindset. It's his mind more than anything else. Like, you look over his period of times of the things that he's done and how he's thought, what he has achieved over his life, and how he's done this by changing his mindset. I mean, he has got nice muscles.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
But it's that mind, it's that working with yourself and your mind to achieve something that you want to achieve. And I think that's cool.
And I love you actually do that, because I have done my homework on you, and you are a person who reads those books, and you put yourself into that mindset, and I actually love that you do that, and that's probably why you are where you are today, to be honest, Sandra. And I mean, the first 5 minutes of having a conversation with you, I thought you're quite special. That's honest, and that's why I quickly gave you my card and said we need to hook up. We absolutely have to hook up. So, but that's getting on track. I just wanted to talk about muscly men. I thought of Arnold, and I'm thinking, I think it might be her celebrity crush. Who knows? So getting on to so not many women attending these conferences and training, you know, workshops and seminars. What do you think about women in pests? WIPM, what do you think that's, you know, with bringing it over and involving New Zealand in it, do you think that's going to make a change or an impact with bringing more people out?
I would think so, yeah. I really would think so. And there's no reason why women can't do it. No reason whatsoever, you know.
And I'm thinking across the board. I'm thinking even, you know, your office managers and your representatives and all the women that are involved in the industry. It's something, I think over in New Zealand, it's still very, very new that people, they're sort of over here trying to get them to come together. And I noticed that, I'll be honest, when I went to the conference, there were quite a number of women who come up and said, oh, well, we knew you were going to be here. So they made the effort to actually turn up just to see what it was about, to, you know, to hear more about women in pest, and they just absolutely loved the idea. But also we want to be involving the men too. For us, I know like some of our biggest supporters are men in the industry, and it's but it's sometimes nice just to talk to another chick another female, and talk about the same challenges that we're all going through. So I think we're really hoping to do more and more over in New Zealand and get some events happening and some workshops and getting more involved with the conferences, with breakfasts, and especially the 2026 conference, which is going to be FAOPMA. And you got a job to go to?
No, it's my mum's phone was ringing.
Okay. Thought it might have been a job. I said, we can go out on the road. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to take me out on the road, actually, if I come and visit. So I'd love
Why not?
Love to see you get stung by wasps and into swimming pools and doing that. But, all right, so karaoke. Do you like to karaoke? Do you sing, or did you just put that there because I threw that question in?
Yeah, some of them I just had to think, and the first thing that popped into my head I put on there. I do sing in the car.
I love the Proclaimers. That's why I got excited. I thought, this chick, she's got similar tastes, so it's a song that everyone just gets up and sings,
Yeah.
All right.
I do sing in the car, so it's all good.
Yeah, so do I.
I've got to keep awake.
Yeah. Do you travel far? What's your radius?
I can travel sometimes 2 hours before I get to spray my first house. And that would be from Nelson to Bainham. It takes 2 hours to get there, maybe just over actually. But generally, and also I could spray in Murchison. That takes an hour and a half to get to Murchison. And when I go over to French Pass, it takes a couple of hours to get over to there too, maybe 2.5 hours.
Towards more Marlborough way, isn't it?
Right. Through a Kiwi Bay. That's where the wineries are.
Job over there.
But that's where all the roads have just been flooded recently. So, I'm hoping I'll get over there this year because all the roads have still closed. I think that's been 3 weeks since they had the flooding.
Oh,
so.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a fair distance. People don't believe it because our business is only in Noosa on the Sunshine Coast, and they don't believe it. We literally travel a 10-kilometre radius, so it's not very far. People just
not very far at all.
They just don't believe it. They go, "Oh, that's fantastic," and our technicians don't think so because they don't get a break. They're literally jumping in the car and go around the corner, and they're at the next job. So
whereas I jump in the car and then I've got to drink and then I've got to eat to keep myself awake because I'm driving for hours.
Yeah, stop into that winery just to stretch and walk around.
I never get to the next job.
Yeah, like I said, I would not make a good pest technician because you wouldn't get me out of the winery, so that would be the end of that. It's now you've got 3 children. They're adult children now. Have any of them showed any interest or have wanted to come on board pest control?
No, one of them did at one stage, and he did a course for Doc. And he ended up doing some spraying and things, and he also did a pest control thing but it was possums and things like that. And I thought, oh yeah. But then he went to Australia. I've got 2 of my children in Perth. He went to Australia over where his sister was, and then he found an Australian girl, and then they got married.
So he ain't coming back.
And he was the only one that I thought, and he had said, yep, when you're ready to retire, I'll come back and I'll do it and all the rest. And he could have. Yeah. He would have make a good but no, I doubt it now.
So how old's your eldest?
My oldest is a girl, and she is 33 this year.
Yep. And your youngest is?
He will be 29 this year.
You're on fire, chick. Seriously. Now I know why you said you want to retire in 5 years' time. You look so much younger. You look like you got another 20, 30 years in you. It's just...
I'm not going to do it that long. No.
Well, you do well. Your secret talent. Can I say it? Can I say what your secret talent is? Pole fitness. Too late. I've said it.
Oh yeah.
Pole dancing. Did you have to wear big heels with that, or you wore boots? Was pole fitness different?
It's different
from pole dancing.
It is. Yeah.
What's the difference?
One's done for,
one's done for erotic dancing, performing.
That. And one's done for fitness, for fun and for
still
fitness.
The same thing, right?
No, I didn't get paid.
It's still the same moves.
Okay, yeah. All right.
When I bought
Similar.
When I bought the house we're in now, my husband and I, there's a big, there's a hole in the garage. I said to the previous owner, I said, what the hell is that? And then she said, oh, we're going to put a pole in there. And, I said, like a pole dancing thing. And she went, yeah. And my husband said, yes. Yes. We've been here 10
it's
years.
Real good fitness.
10 years.
It's really
the hole's
good.
Still there. There's no pole. There's no pole.
I thought I was going to come and see you now so I could do some pole moves.
Well, I can always get one installed. So, I don't think I'd be very good at that either. It's, not my thing. So, well, look, Sandra, it's, this is just a quick chat just to get to know you a little bit more. And I'm really excited to keep watching you and seeing what you get up to and releasing more about you, to be honest. And I can't wait to get back over there and actually spend some time with you and, get down to the South Island, because I tend to always be in the North Island, and get down there and, get to one of those wineries and let's have a drink. And,
yeah, sounds good.
But I think what you do is great. I love what you do. I love your energy. I love your mindset, and I'm really thankful that you did turn up to the conference and, you made an effort to come up and speak to me and get to know me a little bit as well. And I'm looking forward to bringing this whipping over to New Zealand a lot more and meet more and more women, and hopefully we can all get together and get up to no good.
Exactly.
So thank you for having a chat, and I look forward to hearing more about you.
Thank you for inviting me to have a chat.
Thanks very much.